Hi everybody. Time for a special request pattern. At Pattern Dash Collections we're going to do Ellipse. It's a relatively new pattern that was just created maybe a week or two ago by Henny Brower. Ellen has already done a video on it and done an excellent job. I have played with it quite a bit, and I do things slightly differently. So I thought I would share my process here with you. It is definitely an advanced pattern. I would not call it a beginner pattern, that's for sure. You really have to think about it and take your time, but it can be done. And that is what we're aiming for. The first time I saw it, I immediately saw this shape, this ellipse shape. That's the first thing I saw, and I thought to myself, how in the world do they do that? I didn't immediately see this little rice shape here, but that's the shape you want to start with. So you're going to do a pencil grid. Very important. First thing is a pencil grid, because you want to erase all that middle part. Then you're going to do ellipses in a row, skipping every other one, and then skip a row, and then do another row, skipping every other one in the same place. So you don't want them offset, and then skip a row. Okay. Then you're going to do it the other way. Turn your paper or go vertically. You want ellipses going then this way in that row that you skipped. See this row that we skipped? That's where we're going to put these. So they end up with being a around pattern around an empty square. Then you want to go from kind of like looping around. I wouldn't go starting right here. I would actually start my pencil down a little bit and loop around and come up. You want to hit this spot here, and then you want to hit to here. Now I go a little slightly outside of this and make my curve wider, but you want to hit this spot and you want to hit this spot. Those are important. So you're going to do that all the way around. Turn your paper is the easiest way to do the next step, which is to do this same step going the other way. See, like that? But I find it easier to just turn my paper upside down. And then you just do the same thing going with the other row. Then you're going to do it this way, and then you're going to do it that way. And it makes this sort of puzzle piece shape, this kind of four-pointed star kind of a shape, with a square here. And that's the completed pattern. And then you can embellish. I like this embellishing where you make a darker line here to make it like a drop shadow, like that. I like that. I like this sort of secondary aura here. I've done it a variety of ways now. I've also put a shape in here to make it look like it's got even more depth and dimension. So anyway, I was just going to show you how I approach it, because I was having a hard time. I kid you not, I was having a really hard time with this getting them in the right place, and with this swoopy shape. I was having a hard time with it. I was stopping in the wrong place. I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, and so when I would come across here, I would sometimes go all the way to the wrong spot, or I would stop too soon. I was having a really hard time. So I'll show you the tricks that I came up with for myself as to how to figure that out a little bit easier just for me. Okay, you don't have to follow with that direction. You can follow step outs exactly, but I just want to let you know this is how I've learned how to do it. I'm going to make myself a border. I have played with it with a non-standard grid where my grid is more wonky. It works. You can absolutely do it that way. But even with the wonky grid, because you're doing your connecting to your little ellipse shapes, they still end up pretty even. You don't really notice the curve that much on a wonky grid. So, you know, take that with what you may. We'll do that many. Okay, so we're going to do my pencil grid like so. And then like this. These don't have to be super duper accurate because you're just going to float the ellipse inside the boxes anyways. So it's just to help you get a handle on placement. And then what I did, and you may like this or not like it, but what I did is I decided, okay, this is my row that's going to go this direction, and I put a little pencil mark. I made them a little darker than I normally would, but I made a little pencil mark. That's the direction that ellipse is going to go, and then it's going to go every other one. So every other one, every other one, every other one. Okay, so those ellipses are going to go that way, and then on this row they're going to go this way, like this. I found that to be really helpful. And then when I do my first swoop around, I actually found it easiest to mark myself these spots. Once I get the first one done, I don't seem to have problems with the second one for some reason, but I have problems with the first one. So I mark here. This is where it's going to come around this thing and come up here like that. So those are what I mark. Then I draw my ellipses. Like so. Are you too far away? You might be. Draw my ellipses. I like doing them vertically like this. For me, because I'm standing over here. It's horizontally for you. It's vertically for me. I just find that I enjoy drawing them that way. So when I go to do the next ones, I will turn my page so I'm and the first time I drew this, I drew these, and then for some unknown reason, I erased my grid at this point, which was the dumbest thing, because I needed it back. And that's when I got completely lost. Okay, so then I want to go from here to this dot, going through this intersection. But I like to make it sort of a smooth thing. So I start down here. I don't start right up here. I start down here and kind of arc over. And then I go to where I've made that dot. Just the first one. I only need to do it on the first one. Start down here. Go through there. to that dot. And see, it's okay if it goes a little outside. It doesn't have to go exactly straight on that line. To that dot. Around and to that dot. Around through that, through this intersection, or as close as you can. Doesn't have to be exactly, but kind of, you know, nearby that spot. To that dot. Do that intersection to that dot. Don't know why I need that dot. For some reason I need this landing spot. But I only need it for the first one. I don't know why I don't need it for the next one, but I don't. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it upside down from the way it was, right? It was this way. Turn it upside down. And then I'm going to come over and I'm going to stop at these dots here. So come around through that intersection and stop there. Around and stop. This one, you only see part of it. It just goes to that corner right there. Around and stop. Around and stop. Around, like that. Okay, ready? Around and stop. Around and stop. And just to the corner. You already see this sort of interlocking thing starting to happen. Now, do the other way. Now, this one, you have to hit here, and you have to come close to here, right? Come right here, hit there, and come over to somewhere there. Got that? I might have been off the screen. Let me try that again. Start here, hit there, and come over about there. But see, I go a little bit outside. You see how I go? I don't go here and then straight up that line. I actually extend that curve a little bit. That's what I like. You can do whatever you want. Start down here, come up, and hit that curve. And yep, I missed a spot there, but that's okay because I'm going to come in and I'm going to do a thickening anyways, so hit that spot and come to there. Hit that spot and come to there. Hit that spot, come to there. Oops, I forgot I zoomed in. You didn't see that last thing that I just did. And let me zoom back out. Hit that spot and go to there. Hit that spot and go to there. Hit this spot and go to there. Right? And then you turn it all the way around. Do it one more time. This one is going to come to here. And yep, if you have to, sometimes I have troubles on the edges. And if you have to figure out where this is going to go with pencil first, you know, totally do that. One time I did see, I went like this and I went all the way over to here and then I went, oh, fudge. So it needs to stop there. Don't have that problem here because there's a stopping spot for you. But if you don't have a stopping spot, if you need to put yourself a reminder in pencil of where it needs to go first, you know, please do that. Because see, like these, I have a hard time seeing that shape. So it's like, okay, it really goes this way. I just going to extend that. Same thing here. It's going to be that shape. It's going to extend outward. Like so. That way I'll see this shape better. It's just me. Sometimes I have to do that in order to see the pattern. And if you need to use pencil or whatever you have to see the pattern, use the tools at your disposal. It's not cheating, it's just a tool. Okay. So then this one comes here. This one goes this way. And this one goes just to there. This one comes here, hits that right there. This one hits that. And this one is there. Now, I had a hard time remembering that there's another one here. So this one's actually going to come here. Because there's a oval over here, right? But it's outside my border. So I need to remember that I need to do this spot right here. And this one, see, I get confused here on these end pieces. I feel like there's a line missing, and there is. So on the edge, I need to look at this square here and match it here. So there's actually one coming to another ellipse going this way, like that, right? Because I got really confused because I didn't finish off my edges. So this one actually goes here, and this one goes here like that. Like that. And this looks funny to me too. Something is not quite yet right. It seems too big, but maybe it's not. So I have to study it. It's like, okay, this one, does that look the same as that? No. What's different? What's different is that this one should have one coming like this. So I actually need that. Because it actually comes around here to that ellipse out here where you don't see it. Same thing with this edge. I'm going to have the same problem. So this, there should be one here going that way, like that. So what I need to draw is this bit here, like that. Now my edges should be correct, hopefully. And did you see any of that? Probably not. I was over there and you didn't see what I just did you? Frustrating, because I forget that I'm on a bigger page, so I didn't zoom out enough. Okay, can you see where the edges are where I did in pencil? This one would continue this way. This one would continue this way, and I would have one here. So this shape would continue here. See how this shape goes like that? It would continue here. So that's why I drew that line there. This wouldn't be there. See, that's in this square. This square is completely not, doesn't have any lines. No lines right there on this square. But this square is completely covered, all four sides. That square is all four sides. And then in this square, it has an ellipse with a swoop and a swoop. This square, it's got an ellipse with a swoop and a swoop. Right? So you just have to make sure at the edges you have finished the pattern. That's why I give myself room here to play with it in pencil and finish out the pattern. This one would go here. It would go swoop like this, right? This one does not have. So that one's empty, that one's empty, that one's empty, that one's empty. You just have to make sure that they're all correct. All right, does that make sense? I hope that makes some sense. Now, we're basically done with the pattern. Now's the embellishment time, and I really enjoy this part. Depending on what you want to do. This is where you can now finally erase your grid. Get rid of all the things that are distracting you. You can see how this is a little bit more challenging. It's not harder to draw physically. It's just ellipses. It's just, yeah, it's not hard to draw physically. It's just mentally you have to actually be paying quite a bit of attention to what's going on. It's not like an automatic sort of a thing. So now I have to decide what kind of embellishment or whatever I want to do to this. I do like the dark edge. So I'm going to grab myself a thicker pen. I'm going to go up from an 01 to an 08. And since I did this one, I had this little goober here. I want to fix that goober. So I'm going to make my shadow, my thicknet line right here on this one. I've decided this is the one where it's going to go. So it's going to go there on every single one. Right? Oops. That was a bit thick. That's okay. It can be thick. Okay. So that immediately makes it look more three-dimensional by adding this thicker line just like that. I don't know what's going on. My phone's going off, my watch is going off. What the heck? Oh, husband's leaving. Okay. My garage door told me it was being opened and closed. Hubby needs to go to Home Depot and buy a door that we have not used in forever. We used to use it all the time. The door that goes from the garage, the side door that goes from the garage to the side of the yard. We used to use it all the time when we had dogs. We have not used it in quite some time. And he needed to open that door and get it ready for when the painters come. And we discovered that that door was all warped. So he's buying a new garage door. Okay, so I want to do that same thing. I'm just turning my tile this way, and I want to do that same motion with the ones going the other direction. Right? Okay, so just like this, super simple. And then with this one, the shading is what really makes it outstanding. Now if you want to make a shape in there, you can. I've done a variety of things. You just need to make sure all of your things match. Now this one is going to have, right, it's that one, that one, that one, that's this one. So this one actually is thick here. They need to match, or else your eye will say something is not right. Pattern goes good, but something's not right. But you don't have that thing here because why? Because this one is, that one is this line. So it's actually a thin line, okay? I want some kind of shape in there. I've done a variety of things, but I think today I'll just do a circle. We'll just do a circle in there. I really like the way that looks. I'll plan it out with the pencil, and if I decide, I don't like that, then I'll do something else. You could do a triangle, you could do a rectangle. I did an octagon in here. I mean, you could do whatever you want. Maybe I'll try a shape I've never tried before. Let's try a shape I've never tried before. Why not? Let's be creative. I've not tried a triangle, so let's try a triangle and see what a triangle looks like. Doesn't really float my boat, the triangle. See, that's why I do it with pencil, because it's like, well, what shape does fit in there good? I think more of a square would probably feel more natural for this. Yeah, let's do the square. I'll pop it in there with my pencil, and then I'll come back with my pen. And you'll notice my squares aren't even. They're not measured. They're just in there organically. Dogs next door are barking. That's exciting. I was hoping that they were in the house today because it's so dang warm. Okay. So this one would have, you would see part of this square, right? You wouldn't see all of it. I need to indicate my my border here because I erased it, but I need to know where the edges are for this bit, because you probably wouldn't see all of that square. You'd see most of it, but not all of it. So I need to indicate that. Okay, so pen, we'll go back to pen. And we'll do this, like that. See, as soon as you put this shape in there, you've created a hole. Another hole there. And so what I want to do is I want to think about where is my dark sides of this shape, and that's what I want to do for this shape. It's actually on this side, and it's mostly on this side, like that. So that's what I'm going to do. Those are the two sides I'm going to use to make my what is that? Now what's ringing? Oh, doorbell. There's motion at the front door. Okay, as soon as I'm done here, I will go see what package has been delivered. Don't leave it out on the porch too long. Or it could just be my husband. I don't know if he's home or if he was just leaving with the garage door. Okay, so when you just do the two sides, it gives you the illusion of having a hole there. Right? Just like that. Just like that. That easy. I now have holes in my structure, and I can then erase. I'll leave that one side, but I can erase my squares. Okay, that's gonna be my husband, because yeah, that's gonna be my husband. Okay, now to do the shading. The shading is the part that just really makes it outstanding. I mean, it already is really cool as it is, right? But watch this. Watch what happens. This is going underneath there, so you want graphite there. This is going under there. And this is coming down underneath here. So on both sides of this ellipse, you want the graphite. That way and that way. This way and this way. That way and that way. Same thing here. That way and that way. I'm making it a little bit thicker on the ones that are next to the dark line. Just a little bit rather than on this side. And that will also create an idea in your brain that this side is higher or thicker, because it creates a thicker shadow than this side. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it. I'm going to do the same thing. The thicker one goes here, the thinner here. Thicker on this side, thinner there. Thicker on this side, thinner there. And you'll notice that, you know, when I do the shading, the putting down the graphite, I don't get super precise. I mean, I don't put it where I don't want it, but, you know, I'm not super precious with it either, because you're going to come back with the blending stump and you're going to blend it anyways. So it's going to get all smeary. As long as you keep it out of where you don't want it, you don't have to be super precise. Okay. Blending stump. Let's use this one. And just a little blending. And why am I only blending one? Because that's the direction my blending stump is going. It's hard to, I want my tip facing that line. If I do it this way, I'm going to blend up into here where I don't want to blend. So rather than turn my hand or do it in an awkward way, I'll just turn my paper. There are 4 sides to this paper. I can turn it and make it easiest on me. Whichever side is the one pointing toward the tip of my stump, that's the side I'm going to shade next. Right? Super easy. I need to turn my air on. I'm getting warm. It is meant to be, well, it said it was going to be 6 degrees warmer today than it was yesterday, and yesterday was in the low hundreds. So it's going to be in the mid, like 110 or so. 108, 110. That's going to be hot. Okay, so that's that. Now, if you want, one of the things you can do is back in here, you can create another pattern behind. Do a small delicate pattern that goes all the way back here and inside these holes to show depth. You can just shade it, or you can just leave it the way it is. I like this just the way this is. This is a good example, and but you can see how this takes a little bit more thought. I wasn't able to do a lot of chit-chatting like I normally do. I had to pay attention to my pattern this time. But sometimes that's what you need to do, right? I'm thinking I want a blendy border. I don't always do a border. I think this one kind of needs it. So I'm just gonna come back in here with my pencil and make myself a blurred blendy border. I'm going to do that with the big pencil, big blending stump, and I'm going to make myself just a big old fat blendy border just to stop my eye. And that kind of looks like the pattern goes behind, like I'm looking through a window. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so let's sign this puppy. Put the name. Doesn't really matter which way it goes because it's all the same all the way around. I kind of like it that way. Okay, there's Ellipse, and I hope that I gave you some tips and tricks that you maybe hadn't thought of yet. Play with it. I played with all sorts of different shapes. I played with what happens if you start with something else here. I tried triangle, that didn't work. It needed to be this sort of oblong-y shape. So then I tried with a rectangle. That worked so good. It was fun to try. So, you know, play with it and enjoy yourself. I'm going to be done, I think. And yeah, I'm done. I had this incredible urge to color back here, but no, I'm gonna be finished. I'm good. I will see you guys later. I'm going to work on next week's patterns, and I will be back. You guys have a great day. Do something nice for someone today. Make the world a better place, okay? I'm gonna stabilize my camera off of its arm. Okay. You guys have a really, really great day. I will see you later. Bye-bye.